am Dr. Neeta Sharma of Shri Shankaracharya Mahavidyalaya, Junwani. My lecture is on William Wordsworth Critical Summary of Tintin Abbey. So, MA English, second semester, Poetry, Unit 2. He belongs to Romanticism period 1790 to 1850. The main features of this period are an emphasis on emotional and imaginative spontaneity, the importance of self expression and individual feeling. Romantic poetry is one of the heart and the emotions, exploring the truth of the imagination rather than scientific truth. It is the poet's perception and feelings that matters, an almost religious response to nature, emphasis on the imagination as a positive and creative aspect, an idea of the poet as a visionary figure with an important role to play as prophet in both political and religious terms. Some of the Romantic poets, Thomas Gray, William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, John Keats. William Wordsworth as a poet of nature with reference to Tintin Abbey. William Wordsworth is considered as the high priest of nature. So, what do you mean by high priest of nature? The poet's relationship with nature and his indebtedness to her. In fact, we know everything about William Wordsworth as a poet of nature from Tintin Abbey. In it, he explains how nature influenced him, brought him peace and tranquility of mind when he was in the hustle bustle of city life. The poet considers himself as a worshipper of nature in Tintin Abbey. It seems nature brings out the best that's inherent in the poet. The sight of the sportive woods run wild gives him a sense of freedom and sublimity. According to the poet, nature is an all engulfing entity and he considers himself as a follower of nature. Tintin Abbey gives a vivid sketch of his progress for the love of nature. The description which it gives convinces and impacts one profoundly. So, introduction to Tintin Abbey, lines composed a few miles above Tintin Abbey, is a meditation upon memory, youth, nature, and human love. It first appeared in a 1798 collection by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge called Lyrical Ballads. William Wordsworth revisits a place in the English countryside a few miles upstream from the ruin of Tintin Abbey. He delights in the vista of hedgerows, fields, and wooded landscape. He considers that although he has not seen the landscape in 5 years, its forms have sustained him and may even have influenced him to perform acts of kindness and of love. He then hopes that his present experience will have a similar effect, sustaining and influencing him in future years. He considers that his appreciation for nature 5 years earlier was not what it is now, and yet assures himself that he is still a lover of the meadows and the woods. Finally, he assures his sister that a similar memory of the landscape will sustain her and bind her spirit with his own. Style and structure of the poem. The poem is written in tightly structured blank verse and comprises verse paragraphs rather than stanzas. It is unrhymed, mostly in iambic pentameter. Categorizing the poem is difficult as it contains element of all the ode, the dramatic monologue, and the conversation poem. So, now we come to the summary of the poem. First stanza. This piece begins with an 22 line stanza that introduces the setting, emotions, and main themes of the poem. In the first line, the speaker, Wordsworth himself, makes clear that he has returned a place he has not been for 5 years or 5 summers, the bank of the River Wye in Derbyshire, England, this years that he has been apart from the landscape felt torturing to him, as if they were made up entirely of 5 long winters. In the next section of the first long stanza, Wordsworth continues on to say that the day has come where he can once more repose or relax under a dark sycamore tree that is growing nearby. In this part of the landscape he currently is in and is hoping to remain, there is a plot that contains a cottage as well as orchard tufts. So, what do you mean by orchid tufts? A bunch or cluster of small, usually soft and flexible parts, as feathers or hair attached or fixed closely together at the basic and loose at the upper ends. So, this stanza concludes with 4 additional lines that expand on who may live in the environs. It seems to Wordsworth said, although he is not certain that vagrant dwellers or hermits live out in the houseless woods, these homeless men sit alone in the woods, a state that the speaker envy. The stanza Next stanza, nature is going to affect the speaker for the rest of his life and even allow him to value the world and the spiritual peace he has found over his corporeal frame. So, what do you mean by corporeal frame? It means that has a physical form. It is a sort of a fancy way of saying boldly or physical. So, third stanza of lines composed a few miles above Tinton Abbey is shorter, consisting of only 9 lines. In this short stanza, the speaker addresses the possibility that the interior world in which he has been living could be but a vain belief. He could have been steadfast in his belief but ignorant of the fact that he was wrong. He continues to attempt a description of how he was back then, but does not believe it will be possible. Instead of giving the reader a straightforward description, he uses metaphors and romanticized language to paint a picture of the type of emotional and spiritual state he was in. Although the speaker is saddened by the change in his condition, he is not at all depressed. He knows that other pleasures have followed and that he should not really mourn for the loss of the past. He has been able to look through his base emotions and thoughts and see nature not as he did when he was a thoughtless youth, but as sometime far more sustaining. He is older now, wiser, and understands how important moments of our peace are for a life lived amongst humanity. What the speaker feels of this new presence is much more powerful than what he held inside him in the past, before he only took memory away with him when he left. Now he has a belief that is stronger than anything else. The presence that he feels is like the light of setting suns and as powerful as the round ocean air and sky to the mind of a man. It is beyond comprehension and therefore unfading and undeterred by modernity. In the final lines of the fourth stanza, the speaker describes how, even though he and others are apt through their sense to hear and see things differently than how they truly are, he is still well pleased. He thrills in the language of his own senses and considers nature to be the guardian of his heart and the steadfast supporter of his purest thoughts. It has been to him a guide as well as a nurse. Finally, he states it is the soul of his morality, just as the Christian God helps determine what is right and wrong for many around the world. Nature served this purpose for the narrator. Wordsworth, if Wordsworth says, I have died and moved somewhere where I no more can hear thy voice, hopefully she will not forget that we stood together on the banks of the river Wye. This place is important as it is where nature came to both the speaker and his listener. This place, Wordsworth says, should fill the future with ever holier love. The speaker says that nature will create in the listener a far deeper zeal for the goodness of life. His sister will not be run down my dreary normalcy. The last 5 lines of the poem are spent in finalizing the speaker's thought on how the future should go. He does not want his sister to ever forget what he has told her, nor what she herself has felt by the river. He wants her to remember how important she and the landscape around them that are to him, and says that even though he has been gone through this place for so long, it is dear to him. It is valuable in its own right, and because it is giving the same gift it gave to him to her. Now we come to the conclusion of the poem. William Wordsworth was a bold and romantic thinker. His own experience of life was by for the most important source of his ideas. Next of this was the living presence of Dorothy and Coleridge. Finally, there was the influence of books, and among this he roamed far and wide. Thank you.